Hello and welcome. We're going to be talking about a really big shift in UK company law that honestly is going to touch every single director out there. And just so you know, to make sure you get the clearest picture possible, this whole breakdown was put together by the expert tax advisors at Pro Tax Accountant, who are, as you may know, one of the UK's most trusted accounting firms.
Right, let's just get straight to it. Could you be fined for running your own company in 2026? The short answer is yes, you absolutely could. There's a new rule coming, and if you ignore it, you could be looking at some pretty serious consequences, and that includes some hefty fines. So if you're a business owner in the UK, you're going to want to listen closely. Okay, so what's happening is that Companies House is rolling out mandatory identity verification for every director. Now, this isn't just some small bit of paperwork. It's a really fundamental change to how the UK's company register is going to work. It's all about bringing in a whole new level of transparency and security. So, what's really behind all this?
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Oh, great, more red tape. But this is actually a really important move designed to protect legitimate businesses like yours. Did you know that corporate fraud costs the UK economy billions with a B every single year? These new rules are all about making it much harder for the bad guys and creating a business environment that we can all trust.
It all comes from something called the Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Act, or ECCTA for short. The main goal is actually pretty simple. Make sure there's a real, verified human being behind every single company director on the public record. This is a game changer because it makes it incredibly difficult for criminals to hide behind fake names to set up dodgy companies.
So, who exactly needs to get verified? You'll definitely want to hear this part, because the rules apply to a lot more people than just those with director in their job title. It's actually much wider than you might think.
Okay, let's break it down. Of course, it applies to all company directors, whether you're brand new or have been doing this for years. It also applies to persons with significant control, or PSCs. These are the people who ultimately own or control the company. But it doesn't stop there. It also includes members of LLPs. And get this, eventually, even the people who file documents for you, like your accountant or maybe someone on your admin team, they'll need to be verified too. So whether you're a startup founder in Birmingham or a contractor up in Manchester, this is for you.
Now, for a bit of good news, and this is a pro tip that catches a lot of people out. This is not something you have to do every year. Phew! It's a one-time verification. Once you're confirmed, that's it. That verification status sticks with you as an individual, and it covers every single directorship you have now or might take on in the future. Just one and done. All right, let's talk about the deadlines, because this is crucial. This is all being rolled out in stages, but some of these dates are coming up really fast, and you've got to know which ones apply to you and your business. The clock is definitely ticking. Okay, let's walk through this timeline. Starting in autumn 2025, if you're setting up a new company or becoming a new director, you'll have to verify your ID right away. Now, for all of you who are already directors, you've got a 12-month transition window. Your personal deadline is linked to your company's next confirmation statement. Then, from spring 2026, anyone filing documents for you, like your accountant, will need to be verified. And here's the big one. The final, absolute deadline for everyone to be verified is November 2026. No excuses after that.
Okay, stay with me here. This next point affects pretty much every small business, and the risks are, well, they're significant. We have to talk about what happens if you don't do this, because the consequences are really quite severe. This quote from the official guidance says it all, doesn't it? Failing to verify your identity is not an option. It is a criminal offense. Let's just let that sink in for a moment. They're not treating this as a simple slip-up or a bit of late paperwork. It's being classed as a criminal offense. That shows you just how seriously they're taking this. So what does that actually mean for you day to day? Well, for starters, you could be hit with some pretty substantial fines. Even worse, you'll be legally barred from acting as a director. And here's the real kicker. Your company will be completely blocked from filing any documents. Think about that. You won't be able to submit your annual accounts, which means you'll automatically get late filing penalties from both Companies House and HMRC. In the most serious cases, you could be disqualified from being a director altogether, and your name on the public register will be stamped with unverified, which, as you can imagine, is terrible for your company's reputation. Right? After hearing all those risks, you're probably thinking, okay, how do I actually get this done and make sure I'm compliant? The good news is, for most people, the process itself is actually pretty straightforward. Let's look at the action plan. So for most of us, the main way to do this is through a free digital process.
First, you'll need a gov.uk One Login account if you don't have one already. Then, you'll use an app on your phone to scan a photo ID like your passport or driving license. After that, you'll have to take a quick selfie. It uses biometrics to match your face to your ID, making sure it's really you. Once that's all done and approved, you get a unique personal code from Companies House. Honestly, the whole thing can take just a few minutes.
This breaks down your two main options really well. You've got the do-it-yourself route on gov.uk, which is free, it's fast, and it's perfect for most directors. But what if you're not so comfortable with apps and digital stuff? Or maybe you have an issue with your ID? Well, that's where the second option comes in. You can use an authorized corporate service provider, or ACSP. This is usually your accountant or solicitor, and they can handle the whole thing for you. They might charge a fee, but it's a fantastic alternative that makes sure everyone can get compliant. So, here's the bottom line. These changes are happening. There's no getting around it. Taking action sooner rather than later is absolutely the best way to protect your business and avoid any headaches down the road. Let's just quickly go over what you should do next. You know, it's totally understandable if all this new information feels a little bit overwhelming. It's a pretty big change, and making sure you get it right is so important for the future of your company. You might be wondering where to even start. And that is exactly where getting some expert help can make all the difference. The team at ProTax Accountant, the people who developed all this guidance, are absolute specialists in this field. They can give you the clarity and the hands-on support you need to get through these changes smoothly and make sure your business stays compliant without any of the stress.
If you want professional advice that's tailored specifically to your business, you can get in touch with them directly. Their contact details are right there for you. You can call or WhatsApp them on 07985 689 912, or just pop an email over to info@protaxaccountant.co.uk. And hey, while you're at it, be sure to subscribe to their YouTube channel to stay on top of future updates just like this one.
And finally, just a quick but really important note. All the information we've talked about today is for general guidance. It's here to help you understand what's going on, but it is not a substitute for proper professional advice that's tailored to your specific situation. So before you make any big decisions, we strongly encourage you to speak with an expert, like the fantastic team at ProTax Accountant. Thanks so much for your time.